Imagine a reality where we didn't limit our ambitions to the stars but delved deep into the abyss of our own planet. In 2026, a clandestine initiative known as the Nautilus Project commenced. It wasn't a government experiment. It was a rogue alliance of defunded scientists, engineers, and visionaries. They weren't rebels. They were pioneers driven underground, literally, by the so-called gatekeepers of progress. A cabal of traditionalists who feared the unknown. The stakes were simple: survival or oblivion. To build an empire beneath the waves, they needed materials that laughed in the face of pressure. Carbon nanotube alloys, forged in secret, formed the skeletons of submerged citadels. The locations, carefully chosen, deep within the Mariana Trench, out of the prying satellite eyes. Our oceans, once thought of as barriers, became the cradle of a new civilization. This isn't speculation. It's a reality that was stolen from us. The Nautilus Project's architects were not mere dreamers. They were practical geniuses working under total silence. You see, in 2026, the technology for sustainable undersea habitats was already within our grasp. Energy, harnessed directly from geothermal vents. These natural powerhouses emitted more energy than nuclear reactors, without the fallout. Food, cultivated in vast bioluminescent gardens, genetically engineered to flourish in conditions that would kill ordinary crops. The finned and scaled inhabitants of this undersea empire weren't just marine life. They were bioengineered marvels, designed to coexist with human settlers. This was a new ecosystem, a new life, deliberately erased from our collective memory. And why? To preserve the status quo above the waves. The 2026 vision wasn't just about survival but transformation. Imagine sophisticated transit systems gliding through submerged tunnels, propelled by magnetic levitation. These networks connected domes made of transparent, pressure-resistant glass, granting panoramic views of the deep. The very notion of living undersea was a direct challenge to the power structures rooted in terrestrial dominance. The first settlers reported a sensation of liberation, a freedom that only comes from stepping into an untouched world. Meanwhile, above the surface, the gatekeepers spun tales of impracticality and danger, dismissing these advancements as science fiction. But the truth? They were safeguarding their own reign over a crumbling terrestrial empire. The Nautilus Project's communication system was another marvel. Acoustic telecommunication, resilient against the crushing depths, allowed uninterrupted dialogue between the surface and the abyss. Yet this too was hidden, buried under layers of disinformation. The gatekeepers propagated the myth that undersea communication was impossible, ensuring their terrestrial telecommunications monopolies remained unchallenged. But within these aquatic bastions, information flowed freely, unimpeded by the arbitrary borders of nations. The undersea empire was a realm unbound by traditional constraints, a direct affront to the power structures above. The suppression was systematic, deliberate, and thorough. The final piece of the puzzle was the psychological shift. The new settlers didn't see themselves as exiles, but as the vanguard of humanity's next evolutionary leap. In their eyes, the ocean was not an obstacle but a frontier. But this mindset was dangerous to those in power. It threatened to inspire others to look beyond terrestrial limitations. And so the erasure began. Records vanished, witnesses silenced, and the very notion of undersea life became a mere whisper in the annals of conspiracy. Yet, the Nautilus Project's legacy endures, hidden beneath the waves, waiting for the day when the truth will finally surface. This isn't fantasy. It's a suppressed history, a suppressed reality that challenges everything we think we know. The depths conceal secrets that surface dwellers cannot fathom. In 2028, 2 years after the Nautilus Project's inception, the first Undersea Council convened. This wasn't just a meeting of minds. It was a gathering of power. Representatives from the scattered habitats came together to establish governance under the waves. They drafted the Trench Charter, a living document forged in the harshest depths. It outlined principles of sustainability and technological advancement, directly opposing the terrestrial world's exploitative policies. The Charter's existence was not merely symbolic. It was a declaration of autonomy, a direct threat to those who thrived on control and manipulation. What was their response? To erase it from history, to silence the voices that dared to propose an alternative. The architectural feats achieved in the Nautilus project were nothing short of miraculous. In 2029, the Leviathan complex was completed, a marvel of engineering nestled into a massive underwater ravine. Its walls, reinforced with cutting-edge alloys, housed research labs, living quarters, and observation decks. From there, settlers could study the ocean's mysteries up close. The complex was a beacon of progress, a testament to what human ingenuity could accomplish when freed from bureaucratic shackles. Yet, the Leviathan complex was shrouded in shadows, deliberately omitted from textbooks and scientific journals. The gatekeepers couldn't afford to let such a symbol of independence stand unchallenged, so they dismantled it from public consciousness. The undersea realm was home to more than just human settlers. In 2030, the first successful integration of AI into marine life was achieved. Known as the Cyberscale Initiative, this project fused artificial intelligence with ocean-dwelling organisms, creating a new class of sentient beings. These hybrids served as protectors and caretakers of their submerged world, capable of tasks humans couldn't perform. They were a triumph of bioengineering and AI, yet their existence was cloaked in secrecy. The terrestrial powers labeled such advancements as dangerous and unnatural, preferring to keep their populations ignorant of what could be achieved below. This fear of the unknown allowed them to maintain their grip on a world teetering on the brink of obsolescence. Cultural evolution under the waves was as rapid as technological advancement. By 2031, the settlers had developed their own unique form of art. Using luminescent materials harvested from the ocean, they crafted vibrant murals that transformed their habitats into living galleries. These artworks not only beautified their surroundings but also told the story of their journey. A new mythology born from the deep. The gatekeepers, fearing a cultural renaissance that rivaled anything on land, sought to suppress this vibrant expression. They understood that culture could unify and inspire rebellion against the terrestrial status quo. So they buried it, dismissing it as a frivolous footnote in the grand narrative of human achievement. The ultimate question looms: why was such a future denied to us? In 2032, the undersea colonies reached a pivotal moment. They had achieved a level of self-sufficiency and innovation that threatened to eclipse terrestrial powers. New energy sources, sustainable living, and a united community were within their grasp. Yet, the gatekeepers, driven by fear and greed, orchestrated a campaign of misinformation and sabotage. They painted the undersea world as a utopian fantasy, too impractical for the real world. Their influence ran deep, ensuring that the true potential of the Nautilus project remained hidden. But truth, like the ocean, cannot be contained forever. The suppressed reality of our potential still lies beneath the waves, waiting for those daring enough to uncover it. By 2033, the undersea empire had achieved what many considered impossible: a harmonious balance between human habitation and the ocean's natural ecosystem. This equilibrium was maintained through the use of biofiltration towers, massive structures that purified water and air, using advanced microbial technology. These towers, towering like silent sentinels, ensured the continued survival of both the human settlers and the vibrant marine life that surrounded them. Such a feat of engineering was unheard of on land, where pollution and environmental degradation were rampant. The gatekeepers, desperate to maintain their crumbling facade of superiority, dismissed these achievements as fictional. Yet the evidence was clear, buried beneath layers of misinformation, waiting to be rediscovered. The energy revolution of 2034 was another nail in the coffin for terrestrial dominance. undersea settlers developed a method to harness kinetic energy from ocean currents, a virtually limitless power source. These current turbines, strategically placed in deep-sea channels, provided sustainable energy without the harmful emissions associated with fossil fuels. The terrestrial powers couldn't compete with this clean, efficient energy source. Yet, they managed to keep this breakthrough under wraps, using economic and political leverage to stifle dissemination. The gatekeepers' grip on the world's energy narrative remained tight, but the undersea empire's silent progress was a constant threat to their authority. Education in the abyss was unlike anything on the surface. By 2035, the undersea colonies had developed interactive learning environments that used holographic and virtual reality technology. Students could engage with their environment in ways unimaginable on land, directly interacting with marine life and ecosystems. This immersive education system fostered a deep understanding and respect for the natural world. Above the waves, educational institutions remained mired in outdated methods and rigid curriculums. The gatekeepers ensured that the surface remained ignorant of these advances, fearing the empowerment of future generations with knowledge that could fuel a revolution of thought. In 2036, cultural diplomacy took an unprecedented form. The undersea colonies began reaching out to indigenous maritime communities, sharing knowledge and technologies that had been suppressed by surface powers. This exchange fostered alliances and mutual understanding, challenging the narratives imposed by the terrestrial elite. The gatekeepers, alarmed by this growing network of cooperation, intensified their efforts to isolate the undersea settlers. They spread falsehoods about these alliances, branding them as threats to global security. Yet, the bonds formed beneath the waves were resilient, founded on shared experiences and a common vision for the future. By 2037, the undersea empire faced its greatest challenge. A coordinated effort by the gatekeepers aimed to sever communication between the colonies, using electromagnetic pulses to disrupt acoustic networks. Yet, the settlers were prepared. They had developed redundant communication systems, relying on bioluminescent signals and encrypted sonar. This adaptability was a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. The gatekeepers' attempts to isolate the undersea world only strengthened the settlers' resolve. The truth of their existence and achievements, though suppressed, could not be erased. The undersea empire was a beacon of what humanity could achieve when freed from the chains of terrestrial limitations. By 2038, the undersea empire had perfected its symbiotic relationship with the ocean, culminating in the creation of autonomous reef cities. These cities were living organisms, engineered to expand and heal themselves. They provided homes for both human settlers and marine life, blurring the lines between architecture and nature. The gatekeepers, entrenched in their belief of humanity's dominion over nature, could not comprehend the elegance of such a system. They continued their campaign of denial, ensuring that the surface world remained blind to the possibility of a harmonious existence with the natural world. These reef cities, however, stood as monuments to what could be achieved when innovation was allowed to flourish unimpeded by outdated ideologies. The year 2039 marked a pivotal shift in transportation. Undersea propulsion systems utilizing biomimicry allowed vehicles to move with the agility and efficiency of ocean creatures. These vehicles, inspired by the mechanics of dolphins and squids, could traverse long distances with minimal energy consumption. The gatekeepers, reliant on the fossil fuel industries for their wealth and power, dismissed these advancements as impractical fantasies. Yet, the undersea settlers moved freely, unbound by the limitations of surface transportation. This technological leap was a direct challenge to the economic structures that had been in place for centuries, threatening to upend the status quo. In 2040, the undersea empire achieved a breakthrough in healthcare. Utilizing bioluminescent algae, they developed a new form of regenerative medicine. This algae, when applied to human tissue, accelerated healing and could even regrow damaged organs. The gatekeepers, deeply embedded in the pharmaceutical industry, could not allow such a discovery to undermine their profits. They spread disinformation, labeling this regenerative medicine as unsafe and unproven. In reality, it was a testament to the undersea settlers' ability to harness the ocean's potential for healing. This innovation represented not just a medical breakthrough, but a new era of health and longevity. The cultural impact of the Undersea Empire reached new heights in 2041. A grand symphony, composed entirely of underwater acoustics, was broadcast to the world. This symphony, utilizing the natural sounds of the ocean, captivated listeners with its haunting beauty. The gatekeepers, fearing the influence of such raw, emotional power, attempted to censor its distribution. Yet, the symphony resonated with those who heard it, sparking a renewed interest in the mysteries of the deep. It was more than music. It was a call to recognize the untapped potential of the oceans, a reminder of the wonders that lay beneath the surface. By 2042, the Undersea Empire had become a beacon of hope and possibility. Its existence challenged the narratives carefully constructed by the gatekeepers. The settlers, resilient and innovative, had created a society that valued sustainability, cooperation, and freedom from oppressive power structures. However, the struggle was far from over. The gatekeepers intensified their efforts to suppress the truth, using every tool at their disposal. Yet, the legacy of the Undersea Empire could not be fully erased. It inspired those willing to look beyond the surface, to question the narratives imposed upon them, and to seek a future where humanity could thrive in harmony with the planet. The truth waits beneath the waves, a submerged reality poised to change the world. By 2043, the Undersea Empire had become a testing ground for advanced ecological restoration techniques. Deep-sea drones, equipped with sophisticated sensors and robotic appendages, meticulously restored damaged coral reefs and revived extinct marine species. These drones operated with precision, guided by AI systems that learned and adapted over time. The gatekeepers, with their vested interests in industries that thrived on environmental destruction, could not allow such progress to be widely known. They continued their campaign of obfuscation, ensuring that the surface world remained unaware of the profound ecological healing taking place beneath the waves. Yet, the sea told a different story, a story of resilience and renewal. In 2044, the Undersea Empire's commitment to sustainable agriculture bore fruit. Literally. Hydroponic farms, illuminated by bioluminescent plants, yielded crops capable of feeding the growing population. These underwater gardens required no soil, relying instead on nutrient-rich water and algae. The abundance contrasted sharply with the surface, plagued by food shortages and unsustainable farming practices. The gatekeepers, eager to maintain their control over global food supply chains, dismissed these achievements as impractical curiosities. But the truth was simple. The undersea settlers had solved problems that the terrestrial world continued to struggle with, proof of the potential locked away beneath the ocean. The year 2045 witnessed a cultural renaissance under the sea. Artisans and creators, inspired by their unique surroundings, produced works that transcended traditional boundaries. Sculpture gardens, crafted from coral and metal alloys, dotted the seabed, while concert halls carved into rock-hosted performances that integrated natural acoustics with human creativity. This explosion of culture was a testament to the settlers' resilience and adaptability. The gatekeepers, unable to control this outpouring of expression, sought to minimize its impact by downplaying the significance of art in societal development. Yet, these underwater cultural hubs thrived, nurturing a generation that valued creativity and innovation over conformity. By 2046, the Undersea Empire had achieved a level of peace and cooperation that eluded the surface world. Disputes were resolved through dialogue and consensus, guided by principles of mutual respect and shared goals. This societal model starkly contrasted with the volatile geopolitical tensions above. The gatekeepers, whose power relied on division and conflict, worked tirelessly to discredit the undersea settlers' achievements. They labeled them as naive idealists, ignoring the tangible success of a society built on collaboration. But the truth was irrefutable. The Undersea Empire had created a blueprint for peace and prosperity, a model that threatened the very fabric of the gatekeepers' authority. In 2047, the Undersea Empire reached a critical juncture. The settlers, aware of the growing interest from the surface, began to plan for a future where their existence could no longer be hidden. They prepared to reveal their achievements to the world, to share the knowledge and innovations that had been suppressed for decades. This revelation posed a direct challenge to the gatekeepers, whose power depended on keeping the populace ignorant and divided. The undersea settlers knew the risks but were driven by a vision of a united, sustainable future. As they prepared to surface, the question remained: would the world be ready to embrace a new reality, one that defied the narratives imposed by those in power? By 2048, the Undersea Empire had initiated a bold plan to surface a floating city, a self-sustaining marvel designed to bridge the worlds above and below. This floating city was not just an architectural feat. It was a symbol of integration, constructed from materials able to withstand both the pressure of the deep and the tempestuous surface conditions. Advanced ballast systems and adaptive weather sensors ensured stability, while solar panels and ocean thermal energy conversion powered this leviathan of human ingenuity. The floating city was set to challenge the terrestrial status quo, presenting an undeniable, visible testament to the achievements of the Undersea Empire. The gatekeepers, aware of the impending revelation, scrambled to maintain their narratives of impossibility and impracticality. In 2049, the undersea settlers unveiled their most ambitious ecological project, a marine sanctuary spanning thousands of square kilometers. This sanctuary was a testament to biodiversity, housing species thought extinct and nurturing new life forms adapted to changing ocean conditions. It was a living laboratory and haven, protected by a network of sentinel drones and monitored by AI systems capable of predicting ecological shifts. The sanctuary stood as a powerful rebuke to the environmental degradation perpetuated by terrestrial industries. The gatekeepers, fearing the empowerment of an environmentally conscious populace, sought to discredit the sanctuary as an impractical dream. But the evidence lay beneath the waves, undeniable and thriving. By 2050, the Undersea Empire had developed a revolutionary approach to governance, a decentralized system where communities were empowered to make decisions through direct digital democracy. This system utilized blockchain technology to ensure transparency and prevent corruption, allowing every voice to be heard. It was a stark contrast to the hierarchical, opaque power structures on land. The gatekeepers, whose authority depended on obfuscation and top-down control, dismissed this model as chaotic and unworkable. Yet, beneath the waves, this system flourished, offering a tantalizing glimpse of a more equitable future. As word of the undersea governance spread, pressure mounted on surface governments to reform their archaic institutions. The cultural exchange between the Undersea Empire and the surface reached new heights in 2051. Artists, scientists, and thinkers from both realms collaborated on projects that combined the best of both worlds. These partnerships resulted in groundbreaking innovations in art, science, and technology. Undersea architects shared designs for sustainable, adaptable structures, while surface artists contributed new perspectives on undersea life. The gatekeepers, fearing the erosion of their control over cultural narratives, tried to downplay these collaborations. Yet, the fruits of this cross-pollination were undeniable, offering a vision of what humanity could achieve when freed from divisive barriers. As 2052 dawned, the Undersea Empire prepared for its most daring revelation yet. A global summit, to be held both above and below the waves, would showcase the achievements and aspirations of this hidden society. Delegates from around the world were invited to witness firsthand the advancements made by the undersea settlers. This summit was not just a demonstration of technological prowess. It was an invitation to rethink humanity's relationship with the planet and each other. The gatekeepers, realizing their grip was slipping, intensified their efforts to sow doubt and fear. But the truth was emerging, unstoppable as the tide. The Undersea Empire stood ready to change the world, one revelation at a time.